Gabby V, welcome to our senior podcast. We're reviewing all of our finals from the weekend. We're going to kick it off with our championship, man. We had an elimination final over at Keysborough and then a second chance at Hume. Now, Mark, this first elimination game here was the away team that got it done. McKinnon defeated Keysborough 87-69.
Yeah, it was despite Keysborough having a really good year and they've had a fair few injuries and faced a little bit of adversity down the stretch of the year. And they just couldn't get it done today. But you think about McKinnon, the reason why they lost games, Ted, is they were missing Sharif Black for a significant part of the season. So despite them being fifth seed, it was a very, very dangerous fifth seed. And if you look at Sharif Black's numbers of 35 points, you can understand why they got the win in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with Tom Carroll missing quite a lot of the season as well, and then able to jump back, you would sort of hope that he would have had a little bit more of an influence in this game. But, you know, just the 14 minutes and not able to sort of produce on both ends of the floor was a bit hurtful there, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But he'll no doubt be better for the run, and he'll be dangerous this week. I think the young Joe Labarski off the bench with 20 points proved to be a significant difference and significant player in this one. And just a quick shout out to Keysborough as well. They had a great first year in Championship Men to earn themselves a home final, and by all reports, they put on a really good show as well. So well done to the Keysborough Cougars, and we're excited to see what they can produce in 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. And we move on to our second game now, our second chance opportunity here over at Hume, and they were able to get it done over Sunbury 94-86. Now, Hume they took quite a bit of a lead here towards the end of the first half, the 29-16 second quarter. With Manasseh at the lead, Chris Elder did very well, Corey Fittis with his double, but it looks like Hume made a bit of a late run, Mark, just a little bit too late of a run.
Yeah, Sunbury there, Ted. Yes. Hume have had the wood over Sunbury all season. They belted them at Sunbury first up, and they had a really close overtime win against Sunbury late in the year. And then they've sort of come into this one with confidence, and their defensive pressure during that second quarter was absolutely outstanding, and that's really what took the game by the scruff of the neck. Sunbury certainly did put a really good late run. They're probably first to admit they didn't shoot the ball as well as what they needed to. But they had every opportunity to get back in this game, and they showed a whole lot of fight to come back from about 19 points down, I believe it was. So, obviously, credit to Hume. They were fantastic on the night, but well done to Sunbury for hanging in there and giving that sort of second fight back. And, that gives them a bit more confidence as they now play host to McKinnon next week.
Yeah, now, in a possibility where these two teams do come up against each other, what is it really about Hume that just troubles Sunbury so much? Is it their style of play, do you think? Is it the pace that they play? Is it just personnel and matchups? Or is it just a bit of a combination of it all, really?
I think it's a little bit of the personnel and the matchups they have. There's not Sunbury's Trevon Clayton and Gerald Blackshear aren't known for their three-point shooting. Now, I would suggest that Trevon Clayton should shoot the ball more. He actually shoots a pretty good clip from the three-point line. He's just a bit of a reluctant shooter, but it means that it allows the Corey Fittis and the Pundaks to crowd the floor around Ish Sanders and Max Barkley, and Nathan Marshall can't get that dribble penetration and pitch out to those shooters as much as he'd like to. So I think that's where the game sort of gets changed a little bit. Whereas Corey Fittis and Pundak are quite happy to step back behind the three-point line and space that floor for their guards, Troyce Manasseh and Chris Elder, to get to work.
Yeah, right. Now, we'll move on to Division 1 men as we saw Shepparton jump into the finals here. They hosted RMIT, and it was an absolute cracker of a game. It did go to overtime, and you would think that this was the end of regulation scores, 66-64. Now, this is not like RMIT to score 64 points. Shepparton obviously don't have the prolific scorers that they might have in the past. As opposed to RMIT, they have some insane scorers, but a very low scoring here for Division 1 men in an overtime game.
Yeah, I think this is it. The fact that it went to overtime shocked me. I was watching live. I knew it had gone to overtime. That's the only reason I saw it. But 66-64, certainly a very defensive-minded Shepparton Gators. They've been the best defensive team all season, which is why they were sitting on top of the ladder, and they just did it again. They obviously crowded Steve Coffey's space, forced him into some more contested shots that, he didn't shoot the ball nearly as well as what he'd like to, or as well as he did against Gippsland the week before. So,
yeah, I mean, 0 of 9 from 3, that's got to hurt.
and that rarely happens. So
Yeah.
I think that's the dangerous thing for Shepparton moving forward. If they have RMIT again, I doubt Coffey will go 0 of 9 from 3-point line again.
No.
But maybe I'm wrong. Shepparton have been the best defensive team, so maybe they're going to do it again to Coffey. But well done to Shepparton. Second year in a row they're in the grand final, and they'll be hosting in Shepparton, which is really exciting for the town.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we look to our second game here. It was elimination, and it was quite the rivalry here of Gippsland and Pakenham, the two teams that are basically the only ones on that side of town. So it's awesome to see them come together in a finals game, and they did it really, really well.
Yeah,
as per usual.
The crowd was enormous. I mean, the Pakenham Warriors fans love heading down to Gippsland, and they certainly, Gippsland as well, they bring a big crowd for the spectacle. These guys, Gippsland pipped them twice this year, Ted, in the regular season, and including, if you start thinking about the last year as well. But how about this one? Pakenham get up in the big game, and really, really pleasing, and just did it by committee.
They really did. You love that.
They've got 3 guys with 15 points and 1 with 18. I think Coach Rob Roberts would be pretty happy with that situation, knowing that the case is, who are you going to guard? Who are you going to defend? The other guy will step up, and a really scouting nightmare for that for opposition teams.
Yeah, 100%. And great to see Pakenham get through. They will now verse RMIT in a do or die to verse Shepparton in the grand final, which would be very, very interesting to see, because we know for a fact that both associations do have a massive crowd engagement.
Yeah, it'll be very, very loud in that game. So the crowd will definitely become a factor.
Absolutely. And then we move to Division 2 men here, where we see Whittlesea versus Altona. Whittlesea hosting this. Now, this again was one of these second chance opportunity games. Winner goes straight through to the grand final. And it was a hell of a game here. Altona have beaten Whittlesea before. They did it in the regular season, and they have done it again, 94-91.
I think they're the only team to have beaten Whittlesea this year, and they would have a heap of confidence going into that grand final. They now host the grand final, because they've knocked off Whittlesea and got there first. But what I'd love to see from Altona is Samson Rocker with 32 points, because if I recall correct, last week it was Tyson Burton who had 27 points, and Adam Anderson is always over 20 points. Like, they've just got so many scoring options. They don't go very deep. Let's be honest. Their bench isn't used all that much, apart from Formosa, who comes. They effectively use 6 players.
Effectively, by the looks of it, yeah.
But tell you what, they are that core 6, a formidable lineup, and not surprising that they were able to trouble Whittlesea.
Absolutely. And then we look to our last game here. It was Wallen who travelled all the way up to Mildura and upset them 70-66. Mildura just couldn't really get the ball at the bottom of the basket in that second half. Just 13 points in the third and then 8 in the fourth. Really struggled to put the ball in the basket there.
Yeah, this one certainly shocked me as well. I love the Wallen Panthers, but Mildura on their home deck in finals time are a really hard team to beat. Wallen's defense in that fourth quarter, with the game on the line, how impressive is that? But I guess you don't expect any different. They've got some smart players on the team. Lalaman is coming to form at the right end of the season. Bruno got it done at the free throw line. And then you've got Tom O'Connor patrolling the paint. They're a really good team, and Mildura clearly had their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they really did, and it was awesome to see. To be honest, it really was, because, like you said, it's incredibly hard to go all the way up to Mildura and do cause an upset. So, look, that'll be all for us for our senior men. We got grand finals very, very close, 2 weeks away. Keep it locked. We'll speak to you soon.